Okay, let's be honest. If you walked into the Fantastic Four First Steps expecting it to connect directly to that big Thunderbolts, the new Avengers post-credit tease, you probably walked out more than a little confused. We all saw it. The Fantastic Four showing up in the main MCU timeline, teased like it was the next big thing. But when First Steps dropped, nothing. No crossover, no follow-up, just radio silence. So what's going on? Did Marvel change its mind? Was this misdirection? Or did someone just miss a memo? Well, it turns out there's a much simpler and way more chaotic explanation straight from the film's director himself, Matt Shakman, and it has to do with timing, production, and how the MCU now operates more like a relay race than a single unified vision. In a recent interview with Cinema Blend, Shakman revealed something surprising. When he was writing and directing the Fantastic Four, he had no idea that Thunderbolts would end with that crossover tease. That was not something that I was familiar with, he admitted. Apparently, that post-credit scene was created later, during the production of Avengers Doomsday, and directed by the Russo brothers, not part of Shakman's original plan. And here's the kicker. The same thing happened in reverse. Fantastic Four also has its own post-credit scene, featuring a time jump, but it was made in isolation. Basically, two scenes, created separately, ended up sitting next to each other on the release calendar, without any real coordination. So now you're probably wondering, why isn't Marvel syncing this stuff better? After all, the post-credit scene has always been a cornerstone of the MCU's world building. But as Shakman puts it, things are more complicated now. He compared it to a relay race. You run your part of the story, hand off the baton, and trust the next filmmaker to pick it up. In his case, that baton went from Fantastic Four Earth 828 to the Russo brothers' upcoming Avengers Doomsday. Each director is focused on telling their chapter as best as they can. Not all the pieces are known ahead of time. That might explain why the movies feel more loosely connected than they used to, and why that crossover tease ended up being more of a future setup than a direct continuation. The real challenge here is timing. Both Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts had overlapping post-production schedules, and the MCU has gotten so massive that not every department knows what the others are doing. Shakman says the Thunderbolts scene hadn't even been created yet when he was wrapping up First Steps, and that kind of delayed coordination leads to moments like this, where a tease sets expectations, but the next film doesn't follow through right away. For longtime fans used to a seamless MCU experience, it can feel a bit disjointed. But if you step back, this might just be Marvel setting the table for a bigger meal, one that we'll only fully understand once Avengers Doomsday drops. So where does that leave us? For now, don't expect Fantastic Four First Steps to tie directly into Thunderbolts. Not yet, anyway. What we saw was a tease, a glimpse of what's coming down the road, not something meant to pay off immediately. And while it's frustrating for some fans, it's also a reminder that Marvel's playing the long game again. With the multiverse in full swing and different versions of characters in play, the rules have changed. The Fantastic Four you saw in Earth 828 might not be the team that shows up next, but they're coming, and when they do, all those breadcrumbs might finally come together. Until then, keep watching those post-credits. Just don't expect all the answers right away.